Meanwhile, today, President Trump signed a series of new executive orders in the Oval Office. The 7 orders focused on education. The president signed an action that calls for harder enforcement of a federal law requiring colleges to disclose large foreign gifts. Another aims to change the college accreditation process, which determines whether colleges can accept federal financial aid awarded to students. Trump's order calls on the government to suspend or terminate accreditors that discriminate in the name, what the Trump administration referred to today as, quote, woke ideologies rather than merit.
We want to focus on results. We want to focus on actual fairness. We want to focus on merit, not things like disparate impact theory and the whole sort of diversity, equity, and inclusion cult.
It's getting out of that, huh?
Yes, sir.
This comes a day after 150 college and university leaders from across the country signed a letter condemning the Trump administration's efforts to dictate the policies of private higher education institutions. New tonight, we've learned another 2 leaders from Maine colleges have signed on to that letter, bringing the total of signatures from Maine to 6. The presidents of Thomas College and the College of Atlantic joined those from Bates, Bowdoin, and Kobe College, as well as the University of New England. Earlier today, the president of Kobe College explained the intent of the letter is to push back against the administration, pausing billions of dollars in grant money. Saying, quote, the long-term implications for job growth and prosperity in this country would be dire, but the more immediate impact would be on communities and individuals relying on our institutions of higher learning as civic anchors and engines of opportunity and progress, end quote. As the fight between the state and the Trump administration continues over Maine's transgender athlete policy, many schools and organizations across the state are facing the risk of losing out on massive amounts of federal funding. In Lewiston, there are millions of dollars at risk. News Center Maine's Pearl Small spoke with Superintendent Jake Langlis, who says the district needs that money to provide a vital education.
Just over a week away from sending the final school budget to the city council,
the ways in which we use the funds.
Lewiston Public Schools Superintendent Jake Langlis is planning for the possibility of losing more than $3.5 million.
Hypothetically, we would have about 30 people that wouldn't have a job.
It's a struggle school districts across Maine are facing, losing access to federal dollars known as title funds. The Trump administration has been threatening to take the money away ever since the disagreement over Maine's transgender athlete policy began. Langlis's biggest concern is Title I funding. Lewiston receives the most of any school district in Maine.
We don't really have a plan B.
Last year, the Lewiston school budget was highly contested. It took 3 cycles to get it passed, making it unlikely voters would be willing to approve millions more this year. The 30 people whose jobs would be in danger if the funding is lost and not replaced are employees who were hired specifically to make intensive interventions for students who are underperforming, with the goal of getting their math and reading skills up to an acceptable level.
You need to be able to read to learn. And if you can't read to learn, you have a bigger deficit that is just exponentially more challenging.
Langlis says the loss would significantly impact the district's ability to bridge learning gaps, making it more likely that students would drop out of school or struggle to get into college and find work. He says vulnerable populations would feel the impact the most, those dealing with poverty, language barriers, and even homelessness.
Lewiston has a lot of folks who land in those areas, and we want to remove every barrier we can.
If those barriers remain, Langlis believes it's not just the vulnerable communities who will suffer.
I think it's a disservice to our region and country as a whole. If we aren't preparing folks to be productive members of society, then we're failing.
While nothing is certain yet, school leaders say the uncertainty is enough to be concerned about. In Lewiston, Pearl Small, News Center, Maine.